Welcome to TYT Network. My name's Lauren Windsor. I am here with Sheriff Mack, formerly a sheriff of Arizona and a constitutional sheriff advocate. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. It's good to be here. It's this amazing excitement going on.
So why are you here at CPAC?
The Tea Party Patriots asked me to be here, and I believe in America, and I believe in our Constitution, and I believe that there are solutions by which we can stop Washington, D.C. tyranny, and that we can make all the horrible things Washington, D.C. is doing, and this administration, the Obama administration, we can make all of the horrible things they're doing irrelevant if we have local officials, sheriffs, county commissioners, and we the people working together to nullify what they're doing. And basically tell the federal government, we don't know you and we don't answer to you.
So what are some of the things that the government's doing that you object to?
Well, how long's your show?
Well, bullet points. But
First,
boom.
bullet points. Ha!
You like that? I like puns. I'm big on puns.
That reminds me, 1.66 billion rounds of ammunition being purchased by DHS, and they don't say why, and they're all hollow points, which are illegal in war. And so you have to wonder, but first of all, I object to all the spending, stealing money from us, and borrowing money from Red China to still give it to communist countries that hate us. And so you could go down the list of just about everything that Washington, D.C. is doing, and I hate every one of them. And first of all, the IRS and the ruthless Gestapo tactics that they use on American citizens, and that they put American citizens in prison at such an alarming rate because they make a mistake on their 1040 form or something like that. And yet we don't release those people from prison. We release cartel members and other felons because we have a budget crunch. All that's a bunch of BS. My BS meter goes off every day that I see this stuff. And quite frankly, the NDAA, drones being able to attack and kill American citizens without probable cause and without any suspicion that they've even done anything wrong.
So you stand with Rand?
Yeah, I totally support what Rand did. I loved his Mr. Smith Goes to Washington impersonation. I love that movie. I love anybody that stands against the establishment, and that's what Rand did. And I do it as well. And the establishment of mainstream political correctness is killing our country. It's killing our Constitution. My message is we must go back to the Constitution. The president is absolutely incorrect. We don't need to move forward. The solution is behind us. It's in our Constitution, and it's in the foundation of American principles and ideals. So we need to go back, not forward. And if we have local officials, we can take America back, county by county, sheriff by sheriff, and state by state. We the people working together with local officials, especially sheriffs, because they are the ultimate power in the county.
So everyone's talking about gun control, gun reform, sensible gun laws. Yeah. Do you consider any of these reforms actually to be legitimate in the face of the Constitution?
No,
there was a big gathering of moms on D.C. lobbying Congress. The polls are saying that 90% of Americans support universal background checks.
Right.
Would you support that as part of?
No. To allow the president that kind of dictatorial power is entirely against the Constitution. You can try to slice it however you want. You could try your statistical analysis here or one over here. Gun control in America is still expressly forbidden by the Bill of Rights, the supreme law of the land. The only God-given right that the Founding Fathers specifically said shall not be infringed is the one we're infringing the most. So this universal background check, the president is actually saying, you must submit, as a law-abiding American citizen, you must submit to that background check before you're allowed to exercise your Second Amendment guarantees. That is not what the Second Amendment was about. And we already have 20,000 gun control laws in America. They haven't prevented anything. And assaulting the assault rifle or ammunition is not going to decrease school shootings. It's not going to decrease crime. And in fact, gun control in general has never decreased crime. And that's why I titled my book, The Magic of Gun Control. If gun control provided any benefit, then it would have to be magic, because it never has done that in world history.
What is your solution to gun violence?
Well, when you arrest somebody for committing a crime, leave him in jail or use capital punishment, whatever you have to. But the problem with crime in America is recidivism. It's the repeat offender. And we don't address that.
But you're not saying jail someone indefinitely for gun crime.
For somebody who uses a gun to kill somebody, yeah, lock them up, for heaven's sakes.
Forever.
If they kill your son or your brother, you think they should be out on the street in 10 years? Because that's the average sentence for murder in America, 10 years. No, that's ridiculous. We don't really address the problems with gun crimes in this country, and then we want to blame the gun,
But you support capital punishment.
Yes, I do. In extreme cases. I think it should be very limited, but I do support that. For instance, if a guy, any of these recent murders, the one at Virginia Tech or the one at Aurora, Colorado, or the one at Sandy Hook, any of those would be worthy of capital punishment. Again, I'm not in favor of it for a lot of things, but the rape and murder of children, absolutely, But we still let these people out. The problem with violence and crime in America is the repeat offender and inner city violence, which none of these proposals address. You've never heard them talk about, we have really got to get in there and do something about gang violence. No, they want to hang the gun instead of the person. We are not addressing the real key issues of violence and crime in America.
I do think that gun violence and crime is much deeper than the issue of guns itself.
Of course it is. Of
It's
course it is.
societal. I think there's a moral decay.
Right. And no matter how many laws they pass, they're not going to prevent these school shootings by saying you can't have an assault rifle.
But I did want to go back to your statement about capital punishment, because I wonder, though, if that is also an infringement on civil liberty. I mean, you're depriving someone of their very life.
Well, but to say I can lock you away in a box, but I can't kill you, what's the difference? Civil liberties, I can take your life and put you in a box, but I can't kill you. What's the difference? I mean, if government has the authority to lock me up, it has the authority to go to the next step. I mean, you either have a government that can take control of that or not. So I see very little difference. And I was in law enforcement 20 years. I ran my own jail. I see very little difference. In fact, some people that have been to prison that long prefer death and have asked for it before. I don't trust government right now at any level. And so it does worry me to still have capital punishment being issued by government officials who I don't trust.
Well, take that trust to the next level and think about the rate that we jail people that are innocent. So we jail them that are innocent, and we kill them that are innocent. And so my point is, they're not one and the same when we have so many innocent people that are on death row that are being killed. And that's the worst infringement of civil liberty, is it not? To die?
It is, but imprisonment and locking people in a cage is very close, very similar. I will tell you, I'm against governmental corruption at any level.
But if you're alive and you continue to live, there's a point where you could ostensibly have a lawyer that comes across new evidence that can exonerate you.
Yes, and we don't punish.
But if you're killed, you don't have a second chance.
Well, I understand that, and the second chance is what I never want to have happen with some of these killers. They don't deserve a second chance, and those who don't.
I'm not defending the cold-blooded killers. My concern is that we're killing innocent people, and that's the ultimate abrogation of civil liberty.
Yeah, it is, and I'm against all of it. I am against the district attorneys and county attorneys who have prosecuted people like that, trying to build their own careers on their win-loss record, and then you find out that DNA evidence 20 years later exonerates the person. Have you ever heard of anybody getting in trouble for doing that? For putting this guy in prison for 20 years and he was completely innocent? We need to start punishing public officials who violate their oaths, who violate the Constitution, who violate the rights of other individuals. We now have this happening all over the country. We have government officials in states and the federal government, FDA, EPA, and others, that are destroying families, destroying farms. The Amish farmers that I'm working with all across the country, who have all their food, all their farms, everything wiped out by government because they have the audacity to believe they don't have to pasteurize their milk. I mean, how ridiculous can we get? I hate this kind of bureaucratic dictatorship that we have in America today, and that bureaucracies, really, seriously, bureaucracies try to pretend to the American people that their policies and regulations supersede the Bill of Rights, supersede the Constitution, supersede civil liberties. And that is absurd, and we have got to stop all that.
And it makes me wonder if I'm under some sort of spiritual matrix with the truth put over my eyes, with the evil forces that compromise my state of mind.